You know, like when somebody says that they're looking into someone who's in a DV situation and they're okay putting their information out there and taunting their own mother with it on a live, I'll make sure people know that. Because God forbid you be somebody who trusts that person and disclose your own DV situation, and she runs out there and tells everybody your first, your last name, that you've got XYZ Facebooks. Do you know why somebody who's in a DV situation might have more than one Facebook, Retina? Do you know why there's a special little key you can hit to quickly get out of the website designated for individuals experiencing DV right now?
Sorry.
Do you understand what happens if you attempt to call a police officer when someone's in an active DV situation, Retina? Or what happens if you attempt to contact somebody in real life who's in an active DV situation? Or if you attempt to contact somebody who's associated to that person in real life, but it turns out that they're playing in that person's face and they actually are really close to that person's abuser? Because right about now, you're fucking around with the culpability of possibly being related to any crime that might occur to that individual if something happens to them. Do you understand the statistics of how many times it takes a woman to leave an individual before they actually leave a DV situation? Or the statistics on how an individual is 75% more likely, last I checked, to be unalived by a partner of intimate violence when they try to leave? You wanted to tell people I don't know what it means to be a DVSA advocate. Number one, I never said I was an advocate directly. I advocate for people in DVSA. But I believe you heard my job title when I worked at that DVSA shelter. I went through trainings. I went through courses. I went through the education to understand what was going on, because I was the one that put my face out there and was the face of that organization. I was the one sitting with all the bigwigs in meetings asking them for $50,000 so we could continue to provide those services to people. I was the one that had business meetings with people so that we could obtain sponsorships. I was the one that went into these little businesses, Thug Nurse, that you're wanting to threaten, and asked if they would be willing to give a small item to a silent auction. I was the one that nearly doubled in my second year there the gala in terms of revenue. I was the one that literally worked my ass off through Christmas so that anyone walking through that shelter had Christmas gifts to give their children, and that the women or men who came in had gifts themselves, because nobody ever fucking deserves to feel alone on Christmas. I was the one who 4 times the amount of families in our community that we were capable of giving gifts to at Christmas time so they could provide for their children, because they had just escaped and were trying to establish themselves again. I was the one who worked 80-hour weeks so that I could completely redo the entire fundraising system. I was the one who spent countless hours designing graphics so that they could be mailed out to people and obtain donations. I was the one who went on the news station and had to talk about all of the individuals who have been saved from human trafficking in our area, because I knew the stories about the people whose children might be used and held against them to force them into a trafficking situation. Like, hypothetically, let's say a woman who was sitting in the car with her significant other who was taking her to go meet somebody. And she grabbed her child and she jumped out of the car because she was so fucking terrified what was going to happen to her. She thought it was going to end her life. She was willing to do that. Now, the car wasn't moving at the time. He had stopped. She managed to open the door and grab her child and get the fuck out of there and get to safety. You know how many people don't get that opportunity? I was the one who would go in at 6 a.m. and not come home till 7 p.m. at night and only ever got paid for 40 hours a week. It's the one who went on weekends. I was the one who sat on my couch at night and worked while Mr. Mal and I would have discussions about the terrible fucking things that occur in our community and the people that I'm not allowed to out even today who do terrible things while pretending they're good people. I guarantee you, Thug Nurse, you go to some of those people, you're going to actually be handing information of to abusers. And I know it because I know a lot of those people. Because unlike Retina, I understand what DVNSA is, and I understand what an abuser is, and I understand that Retina herself is an abuser. Retina is more than a bully. Retina sat on a video and said, if I call your shelter and tell them I was catfished, will they let me in? Do you know what's fucking funny, Retina? You don't have to give a single goddamn explanation. You call, you say you're in danger, there are no questions asked. You are the reason women stay. You are the reason people are afraid because of the false narrative you put out there. You call, you say, my children and I are in danger. We're not asking a single fucking question on what's going on. Get here as soon as you can. You got a bed. You get there, they're not going to ask you, describe your situation. They're not going to re-victimize you. Are there people who take advantage of that system? Absolutely. But would you rather one or two people take advantage of it and not have someone sit there and tell you every intimate detail? Because they're literally going to have to relive their trauma in that moment and it could have deadly consequences? Because my shelter didn't ask. If you called today, they would take you in, they wouldn't ask. And what's funny is that when you made threats to contact the United Way, do you know what exactly you're doing, Bettina? Do you know that my advocacy center has people who work 24/7, 365 days a year, so that if someone comes into the hospital and says they've been raped, that person drops everything that they're fucking doing and goes to the hospital and they sit with that person from the second they get there until the second that rape kit's done and they are done, and then they give them their information and that person comes back in and they can help them navigate the court. Or if they don't want to press charges because that's their right and they're terrified to do it, or maybe they don't feel comfortable doing it just yet, they'll help get them connected to the services that they need so that they don't unalive themselves, or they don't feel like it was their fault, or they don't fall into the trap of demeaning themselves, Retina. That's what you want to take away from people. You want to do that because you lied and said I was speaking on a child's trauma. You want to lie. Hey! You want to lie and say I was speaking on a child's trauma. I was speaking on a grown-ass man's lies. But I promise you, the people that you have threatened to contact have been notified. And I promise you, I'm more than willing to reach out to the DVSA shelters in your community to make sure that they understand exactly how willing you are to go to put someone's life in danger. By the way, I saved all your videos. People sent them to me. And the comments. I enjoyed the comments of CK, who said that she will be finding my abuser. And she will be talking to them and letting them know that I am putting out there that they abused me. Good luck, since I've never said their name or who they were. But while you're at it, you might want to ask to see their history and their record. They did that in Bubbles' chat, by the way, and Bubbles didn't give a shit. I also have photographs of Mayor and comments where she is degrading people who have experienced sexual assault and defending Pastor Petty and saying that just because Pastor Petty accused 6 men or women of being P3dos, it doesn't mean that he deserves to be called out for labeling his own child that. Keep in mind, Pastor Petty's been wrong about 6 of the 6 individuals he's called out. He still hasn't issued apologies to those people. Not heartfelt, meaningful apologies, not retractions. He still has the YouTube videos up about those people because it brings him money because he's monetized his YouTube. And every time you open a video and it plays an ad, Petty profits off that. Five days before Petty sent me my cease and desist, he posted a whole video trying to slander my name. Did you know, Petty, you have to prove that you have not actively been participating in anything to make that person respond? 5 days isn't enough time. I've got proof you've been speaking on me every fucking day. It doesn't matter that you don't say my name. We know you've labeled me North Korea. You actually said on a live that I was North Korea. You have established a clear pattern of speaking on me at every turn you get. Using code names doesn't mean that you are absolved legally. I am not an idiot. I know that tomorrow Petty could roll up to my door and pull a pew-pew on me. Technically, he's not supposed to have one. I know that anybody who listens to Petty could pull up on me and pull one. I know that he sat on live and said he was speaking to action, a pew-pew to the mother of his son's head. But you know what else I know? If tomorrow is my last fucking day on this earth, I didn't run scared. I didn't cower in fear because every single one of you threatened me. I didn't give in when you all lied and said that I threatened to go real life on you. I didn't let you force me into sacrificing my morals and my ethics and my self-integrity because 300 or 400 of you think it's okay to invalidate somebody's story and believe a man who's lying about multiple individuals being P3dos. And I also know that all of the proof is on the internet. And then one day I'm not going to be on this earth anymore, but you know what still will exist? The proof that I am not willing to sell out to save myself in any sense of the word. Because I am more than willing to fucking fight for what is right. I used to walk into a workplace every day where someone's abuser might be waiting outside of it. I used to know that if someone's walking around the building, that might be somebody who's out there mad enough that someone left them because they hurt them so bad that when I walk out to my car, doesn't mean I'm in the safest situation. Because I know what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong, and I will never sacrifice my morals and ethics for that. Not afraid to go to court, Petty, because I know I'm standing on the right side. I might be abrasive, I might be loud, I might not let you walk the fuck all over me like you want to do, and allow you all to label that as being a bitch or being narcissistic. But I learned a long time ago who I am. And I learned a long time ago that rather than sit here and fester in my own empathy for other people, my voice is pretty fucking loud and people will listen to it. And I only need 5 fucking people to listen to it. It's at the end of the day, I don't care, 1, 5, 10, 50, 5 million. It doesn't make a difference. The fact of the matter is that someone out there who needs to hear it knows that they're not fucking alone. But just remember, it's the people who want to label people narcissists that are likely masking what they see of themselves. I won't shut up. I wasn't lying. I am willing to put these videos up and put money behind them so that people see exactly what you all said and did about individuals who experience SA. And I am so self-confident in and of myself. I am more than capable of reaching out to a news station right now, because I have friends that work there still, and asking if they'd be willing to allow me to come on and speak about the realities of victim shaming that occur on apps like this. And I also know that I have the right connections right now to step aside from ghostwriting for about 10 minutes and do the necessary research that I need to do to draft an article and start shopping it around with statistics and names of every single one of your accounts to show how you behave on this app. Y'all said I wanted to be famous? Wait till I fucking make you famous. Thought you were being all cutesy and demertsy, Smashly? Like, I don't know, bro. Bro. Nope. Y'all wanted to know just exactly how the fuck much I know in my career? You haven't seen anything yet. You haven't seen a single fucking thing. Because I haven't even tapped into my clients. Not talking about current clients, I'm talking about the past ones. You might not know who they are, but I do. And I know that one of the things they've all stood up for is individuals who have experienced DV and SA. And don't think I won't remind them about the hundreds of thousands of views and clicks I got them when I ask for one little fucking favor.
You already say if she had animals come to her workplace, it would be kind of scary.
That's not real life. That's not real life. You don't want people on the internet to know what you did? Don't do it. Who are they to sit there and say my SA didn't happen and think they can get away with it? Who are they to sit there and say that women who haven't been violently forced haven't experienced real SA? Who are they to defend a man who lied about his own son that said he committed SA just so he could simply hide his violent crime against his son? What about when Petty sat on live and said me and my fiance don't have the same last name, so he'd be contacting my fiance's employer to let them know that we're committing fraud when it comes to my health insurance? What about that protective order that we found out about that Petty filed on someone using false claims? What about the son he's not allowed to speak on right now? What about the people who thought it was cutesy when someone lied? What about the people who sit there and say, I said my client had OCD. I listened to the video the other day, y'all. I literally said it's like she has OCD. She wasn't diagnosed. And do you know what's hilarious? Is that woman would stand in the class and she'd be like, it's like I have OCD. I know I'm crazy. I know it. I'm fine. You didn't know my relationship with her, but you made damned well sure that you judged and you put out into the world what you thought was all good and dandy. Three, but technically one right before he accepted the terms of his plea deal, he actually went to the state and said, I don't want this kid anymore. You can fucking take him. Exactly what goes around comes around. I've let people sit here and yell they're gonna fuck my man the last year. I've let people tell me they're gonna teach me how to please a man. I've let people tell me that I wasn't essayed. I have watched time and again as these individuals have lied, have mocked, have dragged people that they don't like for nothing. Petty has falsely accused 6 individuals of being P3-dos. But y'all sit there and defend that man by saying my essay didn't happen. Meanwhile, not a one of you has called out the fact that he's literally called out 6 people falsely on being a P3-do. So you can keep coming in on your fake accounts and pretending that you're 5 people. You can keep coming in here on, your little accounts pretending that you support me. But don't think we haven't been saving up screenshots the last year with you all in other chats running your mouths about me. I knew your name, Lily Vanilli. I've seen you around the block. Y'all were right about one thing. It catches up with you at the end. Might all want to go make new sneakies and try to come in on those, because we know a lot of them at this point. But to all y'all saying this isn't you, this is me. This is the me who stood up in my own fucking community and made sure that people understand human trafficking is happening here. This is the me that stood up and made sure that people understand what victim shaming is. And this is the me that isn't going to allow people to sit on this app and make people feel that they're fucking crazy and that their stories didn't happen while they threaten to go to people's towns and post flyers about them and call themselves thug nurse while they can't even get up in a box. She's so ruggish, thuggish. And have a conversation with me. Said herself she watches me all the time, but she blocked me.
So how did each other die?
You could come up. You could have a conversation. Pam and Queen already came up and CJM and showed that they victim shame. I made sure to reset after each of those so it's on recording. I have at least one of Petty's mods saying that my essay didn't happen. Well, she's not his mod anymore. She got kicked out when people found out they were inappropriately messaging each other. She didn't disprove it, by the way. It did happen. Y'all just believed the screenshot she showed you was not her and one she'd actually sent to someone else. Nobody fucking deserves DV or SA. Everybody deserves to tell their story. Everybody deserves, whether or not you go to the police, to know that there are people in this world who care about you and they will not mock, they will not humiliate you, they will not shame you. Because do you know why one of the first things people say when someone says, this person did this to me, is, I just can't believe they would do that, is? You know what the reasoning behind that is? It's the inherent need to protect ourselves. Self-preservation. It's a very self-centered, egotistical way of thinking. And we don't realize we're doing it because we can't allow that type of person to disrupt our peace. And it's easier to say that person just isn't like that than to believe an individual who is telling you that they have been so manipulative that not even you know who they truly are. Because that stuff doesn't happen in your community. You just don't see those types of things happen in a small town, right? You never would have imagined that could be possible. Keep pushing me, because I'm done. I'm not a victim, I'm a survivor. And if I'm going to advocate, I'm going to advocate right. And the right way for me to advocate is to make sure that people know the rhetoric you're spreading is dangerous. And it's on you for having said it, not me. And it's on you for people knowing you said it, not me. It's on you. You're the one who felt so confident to come on this app and tell me. You're the one who felt so self-assured in your convictions that you felt comfortable enough to come on this app and say that someone can't be SA'd if there is no attempt of violence in it. And if anybody has a video of Smashley saying what she's being accused of saying, I would really like it, because if it got said that you can't be SA'd if your undies aren't removed, I swear to God, it's another level. Because I already know people are telling me that someone in her chat said, well, at least she got to enjoy hers. So I'd like that too. Any and all proof. Because last night she sat on that live awful confidently and laughed and said people are gold diggers when they get SA'd sometimes. So somehow that must mean they deserve it, right? Because they thought the person who said they were successful and a good person, they said the difference is Mal enjoyed it. Did she shut that shit down? Hey, no. I'm gonna get off here for a little bit, get some work done, and let people think about the things they did and said today, because you can think it looks bad on me and you can rally 400 or 500 people together, but I promise you, I'm the one that's been taking proactive steps since y'all started making threats on me. And that shouldn't be lost on you, because I know in my heart of hearts, I'm not wrong. So, I know. I will see you all in a little bit. I'm going to go get some work done, maybe take a shower since I don't ever do that, and I'll be back later. Bye, everybody.